I love Kendrick Lamar's music. I really love Kendrick Lamar's music. I've been a fan for a while. T-Pab, or To Pimp a Butterfly, to the uninitiated, is one of my favourite albums ever made. It is unbelievably incredible. So obviously, unless there's no Wi-Fi in the rock that you've been living under, you'll know that he released a new album last week at the time of recording, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and I was incredibly excited. And on the first listen, I thought, this is good. But on the second listen, it really opened up to me, and I absolutely loved it, man. Oh my god, I adore this album. It's so great. I don't think it's quite on the level of Good Kid, Mad City or To Pimp a Butterfly, and there are certain aspects of Damn that I think are better too. Notably, conceptually, I think Damn is better, but a lot of people didn't agree with me. A lot of people didn't like it and didn't think it was too great, which is fine. I think having your own opinion, obviously I'm doing it right now, having your own opinion is a very important thing. And I believe that, everyone should be able to express that. Unless you're on Twitter, because Twitter was freaking fucking unbearable after this album release, because apparently I was listening to Mr. Mid and the Big Steppers, Mr. Morale and the Big Midders, Mr. Midster Mid and the Big Midders. Every tweet I saw about this album, every person talking about it, every review included somewhere the word mid. Oh my god, everything was, it was like Twitter were told that they weren't allowed to use the word mid until this album comes out, and then they were allowed to open the floodgates and say it as many times as they want. You go ahead and say mid now, you're free. Mid away, go mid in the sky, go catch yourself a mid and put a mid in your butt. Do anything you want with the word mid, because now you can. And then that coincided with Kendrick's album coming out, and everyone wanted to open the mid gates, and they just threw the word mid into every review, which is fine, or at least it would be fine if it wasn't just so repetitive, so uninspired. And I hate the way that the internet we can't just have critical thought. One person sets the mood, and then everyone just moves with it. Everyone just moves in the same direction. And I really feel as though everyone was waiting to apply the word mid to this Kendrick album. And it happened with the new J. Cole album that came out last year. And I think this might even be in retaliation to that. Everyone was just so ready to throw the word mid into the mix. Well, the mids, I think is that a town or city in Russia? But regardless, that was very annoying. But it's not the only place where this happens, because there's something else that's happened recently that has followed in incredibly familiar footsteps with regards to the way the internet moves. I'm talking about, of course, somehow, regardless of the fact that there are several wars going on right now, and the cost of living is so ridiculous that people literally can't afford to live despite working 2 full-time jobs each. Screw that, because the most important thing in the world right now is the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial that's going on right now. It's the pirate guy and the... What was she in? Aquaman. It's the Aquaman guy. Yeah, it's been everywhere. It's been impossible to avoid. I remember the most ridiculous situation I saw with regards to this was, and this was really the straw that broke the camel's back, was when I saw that clip of Starbucks, when the guy's giving the person a tip, and then she goes to put it in one of the boxes, and she said, "Which one do you want me to put it in?" Dude, this is so ridiculous. This whole thing is so ridiculous. And I'm not saying this because I'm on Amber's side. I'm not saying this because I'm on Johnny's side. Because you know what? I'm not on either. I don't care either way. I think this is two people's personal business. And I think it's been televised and put on the internet. And I honestly think that they're both using it for PR for different reasons. And I think with Amber Heard, that PR has backfired. And with Johnny, it has shot him back into the limelight to the point where people are demanding that this multi-millionaire get back into work and have more roles, regardless of how good at acting he is. And I will tell you this, as someone who's seen some of his 90s films, he's not good. He never was and probably never will be. The character of Jack Sparrow just suited him to the ground. He was great in that role, perfect in that role, because it suited him so well. Anything else, come on, man, who are we kidding? But everyone wants him to succeed because they're seeing this trial situation. I saw a clip of some people genuinely cheering him and applauding him as he walked out, and he gave him one of these. Hey? Who wants to suck my dick after the trial? Come on. And Look, here's where the annoyance comes in. So I said I don't like the fact that the internet likes to move in one direction and move in one way. And obviously that's what's happened here. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know that obviously the internet and the wider public favoured Johnny Depp over Amber Heard in this situation. And I think that's just because they do, because everyone does. And I just don't feel as though this is critical thinking on the part of the internet. I feel as though this has really uncovered something that I really hate about the internet, where it's like a fucking high school for 12-year-old teenage girls. It's where everyone is just begging for acceptance. The whole internet seems to nowadays exist to facilitate people being approved, and people say, yes, I agree. Oh, I was also going to say Johnny should win. I was going to say that too. I think he should win, yeah. None of you were there. None of you were in these situations. None of you saw anything. None of you know anything. Ultimately, I think the fact that people initially started favouring Johnny is rooted in the fact that, I know people aren't going to like me saying this, is rooted in the fact that people really don't like things moving in a direction that they're not used to. And I think in this situation, like when all of these people started speaking up about being sexually assaulted, I think that people didn't like that and they rejected that. And I think people are waiting for an opportunity to say, no, that's a false accusation. That's a false accusation. No, that's wrong. And I think it's crazy that it's kind of everyone's talking about this case and about why, that they support Johnny and why they support Johnny, but no one is highlighting the fact that in saying that, you support Johnny and all of this, you are saying that you find it more important that people aren't falsely accused for sexual assault than sexual assault. That's the standpoint. That's the stance that the internet's taking. And I think there are a lot of people who would hear me say that and say, yeah, I think it is more important that people aren't falsely accused of sexual assault. Now, I disagree, and I don't think that's right. And look, I personally, I don't know. I couldn't tell you whether I think Johnny's in the right or Amber's in the right. I really don't know because I wasn't there. That's why we have a court case. If all of you internet sleuths, if all of you Karens out there screaming, yeah, Johnny, shove it in 3 of my different holes. If you want to put it in my ear, then make me death for a week. Yeah! All of these internet sleuths, if you were all right, if you were all correct, then why, let's just get the judge. Let's all gather together, get the judge in a room and say, hey, look, we all think this and we're right. Oh, wait, no, is there a court case? Wait, there is totally a court case because no one knows. Because no one has uncovered the information required to actually know what's going on. That's why we have hired professionals who are paid way too much money to deliberate on this, to give us an answer, a result, to say, actually, this person, given my ability to analyze the situation that I've trained with for decades, I can tell you that actually I think this is probably like this. Now, Karen, who works at Waitrose, might not be right. And just because we're all saying the same thing at once, if everyone was right, if the internet was right, we wouldn't need a court case. We wouldn't have to do all of this. But you don't know. No one knows. But the internet gets so excited about moving in one direction and saying one thing all at once. You see this all the time. That's why social media falls into certain niches, That's why Facebook is full of bigots and racists. That's why Twitter is full of people with these really crazy extreme views. That's why 4chan is the ugly, dirty place on the internet. That's why, Discord and Twitch are full of nerds, because people just get together and they amalgamate this one opinion and they just become obsessed with it. And the first time I really noticed this was with The Last Jedi. Perfectly serviceable film. Yeah, it had some issues. It had some writing problems. It had some plot holes. But the cinematography was absolutely stunning. It was a beautiful film. And I actually might want to talk about this more in the future. Because it wasn't the worst film I've made. But people just can't hold back. One person made this silly, stupid video essay where they called it a cinematic disaster, something like that. Some kid with maybe an A-level or a B-Tech in film decided to talk about how plot holes are the most important thing in a film and avoiding those is the most important thing you can do. Therefore, this is a cinematic disaster. And then suddenly everyone just latched onto it and latched onto it and latched onto it. And the more people amalgamated, the more people just pushed that direction and moved in that direction, until the people who disagreed were silenced and pushed away and pushed down and afraid to say anything. I could agree with Amber Heard. I don't, because again, I don't know. But if I did, I'd just be beaten and destroyed and taken off of the internet. It's ironic that people complain about cancel culture all the time, and yet they'll throw all of this in, and no one else's opinion, can matter. I just think it bugs me. I've never liked it. I don't like it when the internet just unanimously decides that they're going to have an opinion on this thing, and then every other opinion doesn't matter until we whittle it down to I am right. Kendrick Lamar has to be mid. And Amber Heard has to be wrong. Halo 4 has to suddenly be good, despite the fact that we all didn't like it at one point. And now there's this new one going around that, Halo 3 is a terrible game. The TV show is awful. I haven't watched the TV show, I don't know, but unanimously, that's how it has to be now. We can't have anything else. And that's the thing I really don't like about it, is this idea that it's just for approval. It's just people wanting to say something that people say yes to. I mean, how many times, I know I'm going on, but how many times did I have to see that clip of Amber Heard doing coke? Yes, she did coke. She did coke in that clip, and it was crazy. She did coke in a courthouse? That's crazy the first time. That's crazy the 5th time. That's not so crazy the 10th time. It's not as crazy the 30th time. It's less crazy when the comment underneath is the video above, and it's even less crazy when it's that again. In a mix with all on Facebook, a mix of all of the tags, there's a Bill, check this out. She ain't blowing her nose. When the caption to the video is, she ain't blowing her nose, and then the reply is, wow, Bill, she ain't blowing her nose. I know she's not. It's so devoid of creative and critical thought. How many times do we have to see the same clips? How many times do I have to see, the clip about, Johnny Depp won't look you in the eyes. He can't even look you in the eyes. And why is that? Oh my God, I've seen that clip so many times. Oh, I know why, Sharon. Oh, yeah, I know why, Steve. I know why he won't look in the eyes. Oh, I know, Trevor. I know why he won't look. Oh, okay, we're going to go through this loop again. Can we please just be critical about things? Can we just say things that are different? I don't know. It's just bugging me. The case itself isn't bugging me. The internet's response, the let's all hold hands and agree on this response, is baffling. Except it would be if it wasn't the internet. But anyway, those are my thoughts. If you have any opinions on that, then let me know. But I guess I will see everyone later.